Carlton, Cumberland Crest, Dog Lake Road, Elm Court, Franklin Avenue, part of Franklin Avenue, Kimberly Court, Liberty Drive, Vermont Lane, South 30th Street, and Willow Ridge Drive. So we're looking at the Willow Ridge subdivision, and then some extra streets off of that. We have approximately, I think I said the last report, we have around 500,000 spent for the streets. So when I get those estimates done from Joseph Henderson, we'll probably make a decision next committee meeting on the streets that we pave. And the Willow Ridge will have to be some repair work with that along the way. The second item is Dura patch work in Hoback Park. The back entrance off of Licky View Drive that goes into Hoback Park. We have done taken the Dura patch over there and repaired a lot of potholes in the back entrance. So I think it'll make it better for the Little League. That's going to be starting here pretty soon. And it looks pretty good. We also did some repair work on the corner of 13 and what is that? And we've been going around the city doing a lot of repair work that way.
What happened there? It was just like overnight a crater appeared or something. What was that?
Just driving off the side of the road probably all the time. Yeah. Could have been solved one night. That's it.
Yeah. Once it gets started.
I could point out two state trucks coming down off the hill, turn off the Denver, go down to Oldville, and back out.
Instead of the traffic light there?
They go down and they make a turn into Oldsonville and back out onto the New Linville and go back down. That's the state trucks, it's not our trucks. That could be some of the things that work, some of that.
You're talking about the snow plows or whatever?
Yes.
Hey Bob, also over there at Hoback, that drive or lane or whatever that is that a city-owned drive then, that stretch?
I don't know.
I wasn't sure if it belonged to us or if it belonged to the church that's over there that has the ball diamond there and all that.
That one time, the only way coming into Hoback was off of Dorset Mill, and then that was added. It's been a long time, but originally that road was there in the city convention.
I was happy, but also disappointed to see that they had done that patching prior to the 5K because I was really getting winded right there, and I was hoping to just crawl into one of those things and take a nap. But no such luck.
We wanted to make it smooth sailing for you.
Yeah, I needed that.
Yep. And then the work is starting on 30th Street, and I know John Groff has probably reported on that, but they are doing some preliminary work along 30th Street. And I think John reported in our department head meeting today that they were going to start maybe milling at the end of this week. You know that for sure then?
Possibly towards the end of the week, because I know the people there in North are doing a lot of milling right now, so if they get down over there, weather permitting, probably.
Are the asphalt things open soon?
Yeah.
Are they?
Well, they're gonna start paving Wednesday, weather permitting things.
Okay.
So with that, there will be some delays, and they reported there will be one-lane traffic on 30th Street for a period of time, so.
Just so council knows to, not to the extent that we did with the 79 Safety Improvement Project, but we are cognizant of the fact that we have a number of businesses that are along that stretch of 30th Street. We have a number of, you got Garfield Elementary, you got Stevenson Elementary, so we got a lot of buses and a lot of parents dropping kids off and that kind of thing. So on the city's website, on the home page, there is an icon on there for construction work. You can click on that news and events area, and it'll bring you whatever the latest information is that we have on that. The city of Newark, as you are aware, is the lead on that project, but they've been good in communicating with us, and so to the extent that we get information in, and that we'll try to communicate that out, as we can.
Remember, we've got 3 streets along there that are landlocked, so.
Yeah, yeah. You know, Tim, what's the contingency plan for Cynthia and so, I mean, if they go through and
They're gonna mill across and keep one lane open at all times, try to flag around.
Okay.
Because there's 3 lanes wide,
okay,
so they'll be milling one lane, you know, the other 2 lanes will move over.
okay. So at all times,
At all
residents
times.
in on those streets and
They get in.
they can, okay.
Now, when the mill's right in front of the street, of course, they'll have to wait a few minutes, and then when they pave, until it pulls out and roll it a couple times, they will be able to cross over.
Okay.
Base coat, they could, but the top coat, they'd have to wait. So there could be, you know, 5, 10 minute, 15-minute wait if you hit just the wrong time, to cross over, you know. But they should have a flag in there or something to stop
Yeah.
coming in and out.
I guess
If
It's
it's an emergency,
unreasonable.
the squad go across it,
they just,
yeah.
it's unreasonable. It'd be unreasonable that, since 3 streets are so close together, their access to 30th Street, it'd probably be unreasonable to ask that at all times there be at least one street where people can, like, let's say I live on Cynthia. Well, maybe maybe Cynthia's blocked, but I can turn in on Swainsford and go down and you know what I mean?
Yeah, it'd probably be that way. I mean, either end would probably, the middle would probably swing for it, but like either Claren or Cynthia would probably be, because by the paving, you know, through here, they wouldn't be up to the Claren. By the time they get Claren, if they're paved in a solid enough roller to be there, they can cross there.
Okay.
So I'm sure that.
I don't know how that process works or what the time thing is. You think it'd be okay?
Absolutely has no way out, because the others, and if Maureen and Lancaster, we could go back to the school, save them from the school.
Yeah.
And that's the possibility.
Yeah.
Next week,
Yeah, Carrie's
totally.
Yeah, Carrie is.
Carrie'd be the one that someone might have to wait 5 or 10 minutes until they get through there, you know, but that's not that big. We never did if there's a gas line break there or something like that, and they were taking a train across there, you know, or water main break or something like that.
If there's any way, even if it's 24-hour notice, like if there's any way that here at City Hall we could be made aware of that. There's not many houses there. I don't mind walking. You know, I can take Eddie Hunt and we can go and we can walk on either side of the street and put little notices on the door saying, hey, tomorrow they're going to be paving 30th Street right there. There may be a period of time where you're not going to be able to get in or out. And if there's anything that can be done, something would be better than nothing. So
I'll check
if it's
it
possible.
because he's superintendent, definitely ask him about it.
Okay, all right, thanks.
And if we get the blackboard thing up and running, that would be a perfect opportunity to let all the residents know
Yeah,
about that.
yeah. Yeah, that would be a great example where that tool would be fantastic. Okay.
Any other questions, comments? Committee? Any, Bob, anything under other? No. Nothing else to report. The Region Drainage Committee will adjourn at 5:39.
Okay, we'll call the Parks, Recreation, and Davis Shea House Committee to order at 5:39. First item on the agenda is cleaning of the pool and landscaping. Bob?
Yeah, this time of year that, we're getting the pool ready. We have to clean the pool, do a lot of landscaping around the pool. So we're preparing for that now. We had we hired a person today, a part-time person to help with that today, so that process has started. And, we're looking for that opening date of June 1st, to be ready, so we're moving along with that. That's all I have.
Any questions, comments on that?
Hey, Bob, is there much that needs to be done to get that trailer ready for the season, or is just getting like the computer and stuff in there, is that really all that's needed?
Yeah, just getting have a data come in and do that. But since we purchased the trailer, didn't have to move in the wiring, it's all there. So we have to bring computers
And
and
that's,
ready to go.
that'll make a big difference compared to last year.
Right, test and things, you've got some new, like Visa readers, and we have to install those and make sure those are ready, ready to go. What we're waiting on in the pool, again, is, from the storm damage we had, we're waiting on the umbrellas to be completed. We've already replaced some of the trees that got destroyed. As we know, we got some compensation for being closed for those 2 days. I think 20,000. So we're doing some of that repair work, and then eventually I'll become a council to get, I'm taking that out of my budget, and I'll be asking to be reimbursed back to my budget from the insurance money that we received.
Anything else on that? The second item is an update on the pool staff applications.
We are going through the process of hiring the staff at the pool, and Flipinger and Rhonda White are going through the applications. Mary and I looked at some the other day. I think that process will be done by the end of the week. So we will have our pool staff hired and ready to go. The next process will be getting the swimsuits and all the apparel that the lifeguards and everyone will need for the pool. That'll be the next process. So those applications are pretty much closed right now. We think we have enough to hire everyone. Again, the minimum wage went up again this year, so that's something that always hurts our bottom line a little bit. See what the raises of the pool memberships will bring in to compensate for that.
Is there any sense, Bob, of how the memberships have been going? It's been, what, maybe 2 or 3, whatever weeks since we mailed out some of the information on the membership rates in the early. And I know I haven't gotten my family membership yet. How are things?
Well, I haven't gotten it. I'll get a report at the end of April.
Okay.
And then that's will be the first time I've really seen something. I've seen things from January, February, March, but of course you don't celebrate for just 3 months. People aren't thinking about swimming or stuff. But April they start thinking about it a little bit. I'll get a report by the end of the month.
And it's helped me to pray up good, but it's not the only thing I ever forget. I know.
Any other questions from anyone on that? Okay, the third item on the report is the Davis Shea House report. We have Executive Director Jill Ladner here to give us a report. Good evening. Good evening.
Council members, you may recall in the management contract that we entered into last year with the Arts Council, there's a number of different services and things like that that outlines that the Arts Council will run for the city. Jill's been the executive director now a little more than 6 months, 6.5 months, something like that. Yeah. So one of the services outlined in there is financial and operational report. And if you all remember kind of the type of report that Jan can do for us every once in a while, so it's that kind of thing. And so after about 6 months or so, we felt it would be a good idea for council to go ahead and get an update on that information. So Jill, thanks for being here this evening. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Again, I'm Joanne Bradbury, and I'm the Executive Director of the Davis Shea House. And on behalf of the Community Arts Council, I'd like to thank you for inviting us here this evening. We cannot be here. We're not here. Stand here.
Something from the board.
She was turned on.
You're better than that usually.
Big pop.
Can everyone hear us okay?
Yeah, I can project it on file.
Okay.
Is this microphone working? Is it picking up on the speakers, or is you just hearing the voice?
They're not on at all.
It's in the system's on, isn't it?
Doesn't Lynn typically,
What's that?
doesn't Lynn typically turn that on? Should I get
John Ross.
John.
Sorry about that.
For any reason, we can't just have Joe come up here?
Do you want to do that?
Can hear her? Yeah, just come up. They can
You
hear
did
us.
something there, Tim. That Dick's good. No, I hear that. That's all. Yeah, so go ahead and talk that speak. No, like,
Test.
I think maybe that's a good idea. Hey, Tim? Let's just have to.
Sit in my chair if you want.
Let's just come on up here. The chairs are comfy. Don't lean back. Yeah, don't lean back. So these chairs go all the way back, that's what I'm saying.
Let's go see if we can hear us up here. They can hear me. We'll see if we can hear them.
Before going through the budgets, I was wanting to tell everyone about some past and also some future events that's going to be occurring. Some past events is the Valentine's Day dinner. We had record numbers, of good entertainment with a violinist who played at least a couple of hours. We had our first bunny breakfast this past April. Children's Spring Hat Parade in partnership with the Heath Library with crafts. They partnered with us to provide crafts with the children. We had the Children's Spring Art Open House, Licking County Schools, grades 3 through 6. And the Heath Retired Citizens Lunch. We had 75 citizens in attendance. We almost had to turn people away. It was starting to become so crowded, but we were able to get everyone seated. A new event that we have come up with was the International Romance Date Night Dinner Series, which was Experience Ireland. We had over 50 people in attendance to experience Irish cuisine, along with Kara Markley, a Celtic violinist, as entertainment. Some upcoming events is the International Romance Date Night Dinner Series, April in Paris, and that will occur this Thursday. We also have Mexican, Hawaiian, Greek, India, German, and Italian. We are having a conference room open house this next Tuesday. We have afternoon teas twice a month and a Friday music lunch series once a month. On May 17th, we are going to have an opening night, which is called Art, Wine, and Cheese, in which local artists and wineries meet to show and provide tastings. We are going to have on May 11th, the Mother-Daughter Tea, Hat, and Style Show in partnership with Christopher and Banks and Maurice's. We also have art classes, do-it-yourself classes, mystery dinner theater, comedy night, and in June, we are going to hold Art Under the Stars, and that will be an art auction, dinner, and concert. And there's more, so make sure that you look at our website to see what events are coming up. We have 80 events planned so far for 2013. 25 private events are now booked. We have 3 wedding rehearsals and 4 weddings booked so far for 2013. So I'm really excited that this year is starting out in a good way.
Hey, Jill, if I can just ask you a question real quick.
Yes.
Looking at the calendar for the events, is there some are in different colors. Is that a different type of event? What are the colors?
I'll explain.
Oh,
The blue is the community events, say for example, like Children's Spring Half Parade.
okay,
The black is a private event, say for example, like a luncheon or a birthday party. The red is creative catering.
oh, okay.
Green is for office notification when they are going to submit their artwork. It's for our notes. Mhm. Any other questions? Okay. We are in the midst of transferring our accounting from Excel into QuickBooks. So future reports that we'll submit will have more detail and will be divided out a little bit further than what we've got right now. The Heath Community Arts Council finances, right now, January 1st through March 31st, the income is $117,063.33. The expenses were $58,104.48. We have a Hopewell Federal Credit Union checking with $103,158.99. Hopewell Federal Credit Savings, $992.03. Hopewell Federal Credit Club, $1,558.33, and also a money market with $32,075.11. We have a Park National Bank checking, which $21,881.07, which is encumbered funds, and a checking, which is a deposit holding account, say for example, for our weddings, with $904. The total income received with bed tax for this year was $99,605.80, which we appreciate. Thank you very much.
Jill, do you know, and I don't necessarily expect there to be a page that would reflect this, but just your sense, looking through the information from the past, as far as where the account balances are and things like that, how does that relate to last year or previous years? Do you have a sense, just a general trend? Are balances better? Are they less? Are they?
I have some comparisons, a couple of pages further along that I
I'm just going to be patient. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
All right. We have the chart of account totals, which will give you a summary, which you can see, which was pretty much what I just read to you. Summary of interest by categories. We have chart of account totals, which goes down and shows you the breakout for our events. Say, for example, teas, private teas, catered private events, Friday breaks, special events, rental income, say, for example, rental of a room, caterers fees, gift shop tax, fundraising, donations, and other. We also have received refunds and adjustments from GFS. And that's another breakdown sheet for you for finances. The next sheet that you will find will be the 2013 budget expenses. Now, I'm the type of person who is economical, and I do not like to spend money unless I need to. If I can find an object or service for free, I'm going to find it. But just a few points I like to make. Our high dollar expenses are in payroll, taxes, and food costs for our events. Advertising dollars are being spent where they have not been spent before, and this expense is necessary to market our events and is really paying off. The attendance is up for all of our events by doing so. This year we will need to spend money on events where the city is left off, so that's going to cause additional expenses. And I understand the city will provide us with $3,800 to put towards groundskeeping.
The lease agreement that the city has with the Arts Council, one of the requirements of the city for that agreement is maintenance of landscape. Bob, that 3,800 figure is what we typically paid in the past.
That's what we paid in 2012.
Yeah. So just being consistent with last year.
And the next sheet that you will find will be 2013 versus 2012 expenses for the first quarter. Just to explain a couple of these lines that's a bit evasive, which would be the account number 205, related, event-related supplies. This would be leftover Christmas expenses. We had candles, battery operated for the tables, a new artwork hanging rail system for our new art exhibits, replacement crystal glasses for our formal dinners, and it was more economical to get a bunny costume for our bunny breakfast and also half braid, and we can use that for next year, and roses for our Valentine's dinner. Under category 500, the furnishings, that is our new dance floor purchase. 704, other advertising, that is picket fence signage on the side of the road in Heath locations that you will see on the side of the road. Number 1051, entertainment contract, that would be Valentine's Day violinist, Cara Markley Experience Ireland, and Music Lunch Series. The number 1504 category is taxes, and they were miscategorized in 2012 under the former executive director. We're wanting to break this out correctly once we get everything into QuickBooks. 2000 would be repairs, and this is all computer repairs, and the city is no longer paying for that.
Jeff, could you explain a little bit more what you meant by miscategorized for 1504? Because when it was $37.99 in the first quarter of 2012, and then $39.84 in the first quarter of 2013. 1504, sales tax. I think that's what we said, that was miscategorized. Previously.
Yes. I will get that answer and break it down for you.
Okay, I was just curious since it was such a significant change.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like 1501 is up quite a bit, and then 1504 is down quite
Yeah,
a bit.
just
Exactly.
a little bit of a.
It is.
Helpful.
Exactly. Okay, we'll get that. No problem. The next sheet you will find is the 2013 chart of account totals. And that's pretty self-explanatory. We have an expense comparison, which you were asking in regards to 2010, 2011, and 2012. We have income comparisons of 2010 to 2012. The next sheet would be the 2013 first quarter event information. We had 17 events in the first quarter as compared to last year's 19, yet we made more money. Our expenses were $1,330.59. That was less than last year. Our profit was $454.52, and that was more than last year. The donations are up, and the volunteerism is up. Our numbers for attendees is less than last year, because our children's programs, such as the Art Open House, was in the second quarter this year. We made a good profit on our international romance date night dinners and Valentine's Day dinner. These dinners are very popular, and again, we're finding good numbers and good attendance with the date night dinners for this year. We have reservations for next year's Valentine's Day and future date night dinners. Events for the first quarter should have been planned last year prior to me coming on board as executive director. Therefore, we're playing catch up. Yet, as reported earlier, we still have exciting events that are planned, and I'm sure that we'll be able to have a better second quarter. Your next sheet is going to be summary of deposits by category. This is self-explanatory. And that takes you each week up to the end of March. And you have a breakout of deposits of where they came from. Say, for example, like Friday break or private tea in red. next group will be the checking account, which takes you from the first of the year to the 31st of March. And if you have any questions, please ask and we'll get the answers. I've included a monthly report which gives you the gift shop and the events combined, or also broken out with sales tax for gift shop and the events. And that would be in your next package. And last but not least, I have a copy of the house inventory. I have one copy. The city already has a copy, but it was a lot of pages to copy, so I thought if you needed it, then we'll make sure that you have that. That's all that I have. You're welcome to call me if you have any questions once you look over the reports.
Thank you, Jill. I'm gonna open it up to questions from the council first, because obviously we have a lot of interest, I think, in this portion of our agenda, so open up to council first and then to everyone else. Any questions or comments from council? Hearing none, do I have any questions or comments from anyone else? Yes, ma'am.
I volunteered at the Lady Shane House for 11 years, and during that time, I was involved in.
Excuse me, but I can't hear her. I cannot hear her.
It's not working. Well, whether you can stand to the side, I can stand
Bob, your mic working?
take her up to the front.
You guys hear this?
I think that's what the Bob.
Testing.
Yep.
Maybe we should start all of it. Maybe we should start all of
Does that go out any closer, Bob, or should we just?
Sit down.
You want to go around and
Sit down.
Bob, be friendly.
see what it sounds like.
Just talking to. Yeah, if you just sit down and don't talk, and I think it'll kick your voice out.
All right?
Thanks, John.
Thank you. All right, my name is Joan Rainford. I have volunteered at the Davis Shane House for the last 11 years. And during that time, my husband and I, who has also volunteered for that length of time, have done many, many jobs at the house, so we're familiar with quite a few of the policies and so forth that the house entails. My question concerns the inventory that Jill says she has presented. We have not seen a copy of that. Do we have a copy of that?
We have one copy, yeah, that's an arts council question, I believe. I don't believe that's within the control of my committee, so.
That is. To the arts council.
I thought the mayor had requested the inventory to be done.
Yeah,
We have a copy of the inventory, which is current. We have one copy because we do not have commercial copiers at the house. It's hard for us to print out 20 copies of inventory. So if the city would like for someone to have a copy, I'd appreciate it if you'd be able to help us out.
Give this to you.
Yeah, hold that up. I'm trying to find, is it in the
No,
packet?
this is the only copy.
Oh, okay.
You can have it.
What we have are, and they are very, a large, number of pages. We have inventories that were completed, I believe shortly before, Jan, retired as the executive director. These are changes then to that prior inventory, or?
There's just 4 changes to this inventory.
So is this the entire inventory?
It is.
Oh, okay. I can't do color-coded copies quickly, Deb, but I can try to crank out a few copies.
Everybody's starting like Mayor Johnson.
Jim, the mayor's gonna work on getting us some copies of that for us.
I'm gonna do front and back. Okay. Oh, yeah, thanks.
Front and back.
Yeah.
How many? I don't know. You got 7 council members, dozen?
Yeah, 15, yeah, something like that.
Mark, actually, my questions could be next about that.
Okay,
As long as you have
go ahead.
Okay, my first question is, what is the date of that inventory, please?
What is the date of the inventory?
Yes,
It's current.
but the inventories were always dated, for instance, January in the year, that's what I'm asking.
Pardon me?
The inventories were always dated January in the year.
Yes.
That's my question.
It is current.
So it's up to date,
It is up to date.
as of today.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
And then the next question is, when was it done?
The inventory has not changed, and it was done when Jan, before she left. For insurance purposes, you do not have to do it every year. You can do it every 5 years.
No, I have to take exception to that
I
because
spoke with the insurance company.
the insurance company has no bearing on it. It's the house policy that it be done every year.
Well,
The last inventory was done January 2012. That would have been for the year 2011.
hey, Deb,
Yes.
I'm looking at the management contract, and section 2.2, under the specific services, says that the Arts Council will protect the city of Heath's real estate investment in the David Shea House buildings and grounds, and maintain a detailed current inventory of agency property both on-site and at Heath City Hall. Jill, what you're saying is that information that Heath's copying is a current inventory
Yes, it is.
of the agency property, both
Yes.
on-site and at Heath City Hall.
Yes.
Okay. So, and as I define current, to me, that would mean if you know, if the Arts Council or if there's some particular item that comes into the Shea House, you would then add it to the inventory.
And we have.
Okay, all right.
And again, I would think that when you're talking about the policies of the house, I think those would be policies that the Arts Council would control. And so nothing that's going to do with the revenue fund or anything related to the policies related directly to the house.
And then the only reason why I was raising that point is I just wanted to make sure that the city council, understood. Here's what's stipulated in the management contract, that a detailed current inventory, which Jill was saying that's what that is.
Right,
Okay.
right.
Joan, did you have other questions or?
I was curious, who did the inventory?
Who did the inventory? We added 4 items to the inventory.
So nothing was counted to see if there were any losses, breakage, etc.?
We have counted along the way. You counted some glassware that was broken, and we have replaced that, for example.
So it was done on a day-to-day basis?
Yes.
May I address that question, please?
Yes, go ahead, Carol.
Okay, I'm Carolyn Ersher. My father owned a business, and every January you had to take a total inventory of the store or organization. It had to be each item in your house, in your store, that had to be done. It had to be validated for tax purposes and so on. So I support Joe's idea. Is that inventory should have been done in January for the house, perhaps the Christmas items in February when they were put away? You have to have a current, each year, inventory of your facility.
You know, we have the board represented here. Is there anyone from the board who would like to speak to what the policies say related to inventory, and if it is required that it's done year by year? Because I would think that would be the decision that all of you would be making.
I'm Park Shea. I'm the president of the Heath Community Arts Council. And it does say that we will maintain an inventory sheet. If it's out of whack or if it needs to be adjusted or it needs to be redone, I think that's something that we will bring up at our next board meeting.
But it doesn't specifically state every January you must do an inventory. So what Joe is stating is in compliance with what you have asked.
In my opinion, yes.
Other questions?
No, that's all I have.
Okay. Anyone else, questions? Okay. Hearing none, thank you so much for your time. Thank you, Jill. Appreciate all the information. We'll be pouring over this for the next few weeks. Like I said, if you have any questions, just give me a call. We will. Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you, Jill.
Okay, last one on our agenda is other items. Do you have any other items, Bob?
No.
Anyone else have any other items for Parks, Recreation, and Davis Shea?
Hey, Bob, I just had one question. With Hobart Park, was it before the beginning of last season, the Heath Youth Athletic Association, was it for last season that they did the put the new dirt down on the diamonds and did all that?
Yeah.
And I know that was a tremendous effort on their part, and really makes the diamonds look great, and I think play better. How have you heard anything as far as how they're able to maintain those? Because
They just redid it.
oh, did they?
I mean, this.
Okay, that's I didn't.
The things I've been hearing from like Craig and Jimmy Craner and those guys have said that they have put a lot of work in down there, and they put all new netting in, and they're really, I mean, they came back and said how good it looks. I mean, it looks as good as it's ever looked.
Yeah.
They've told me.
Yeah. Okay. I just didn't know, what the maintenance was like on that. I don't know. Yeah.
And then they put on your netting on it to make it bigger to protect more people.
Okay.
And then a delivery truck tore down about 500 for the net. They didn't know the netting was there. Ripped it down. They gotta get it repaired to replace it.
That's one way to get new stuff.
Yeah.
That was brand new.
Well, it sure has been. It sure has been great. How the HSYAs have been able to do that with those ball lines. I mean, there's just no way we've been able to fund something like that. So it's been great that they've been able to do that.
On that note, they are having, opening day will be May the 4th. And then they're also they're doing like a 50-50 raffle. Tickets are $5 apiece, and every time they get, so they collect, let's say, $500.
$500.
$500 win. I got that. More like, rather than have one person win $3,000 or $4,000, $5,000, rather than have one person win five, they have five or 10, $500.
Okay, all right, thanks. Thanks, Bob.
Okay, anything else for Parks Recreation and Davis Shea? Okay, nothing, we will adjourn at 6:16.
Look at finance here. 5-minute break. Finance over there.
Mayor, you said Kim wanted me till 6:30 if you want her to, or is it with the finance you want her to?
Yeah, yeah. Jeff, I asked Kip Geller, to come, to the finance committee meeting because, on the first reading, it's not county meeting, we have a resolution, in opposition of House Bill 5. I asked him to come to speak to the council members a little bit more specifically in detail as to what impact some of these provisions that are in House Bill 5 would have to the city's finances. I told her that the finance committee meeting would probably start at 6:30. So if you don't mind waiting until Kim gets here.
Or we can just do the other agenda items and leave for.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. The other items are 5 to 10 minutes.
Okay, we'll meet over there. Yeah.
5 minutes, yeah.
Thanks, Jeff. Yes. I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I agree. I completely agree. The problem is that stuff is too old to handle these things. I agree.
Yeah.
Well, they got 15.
Now, I don't think they moved the finance committee over there to discourage anybody. If you want to sit in on the finance committee meeting, that's fine. All right. I just didn't like it, they moved it over there so that you folks couldn't sit in on that.
They just want to make me move the camera.
I know.
Yes. For finance,